So everything seems to work correctly, but I'm just going to go ahead and clean up a few things before I put this to bed. And I'm going to start with the Polka Dot CSS. And it disturbs me that I have multiple copies of this block of stuff. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this into a here.constant. So I'm going to cut that and add a PHP island. And I'm going to echo poker text, poker font. And that's going to be my style information. And then in poker constants, under CSS stuff at the top, I'm going to go ahead and create a const poker font equal and then paste that in. And then I'm going to do that for these as well. And this one. And this already has the indentation, so let me go ahead and do that. And let's reload, continue. Looks the same. Still looks the same. Great. So if I view the page source and I go to the style sheet, it looks exactly the same. I have the same information, but now I only have it in one place, so it's easy to fix later. Oh, I do have a little problem there. Let me go ahead and add another carriage return here. There. And get rid of that spacing. Great. So now everything's in line. And then let's see if there's anything else in Polka.css. I could create constants for these, but I think I'm okay there. The rest of that looks okay. And then let's look at the JavaScript as well. So I was creating all these PHP islands, and I mentioned at one point that I could create JavaScript variables to hold them. And let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and create a card key JavaScript variable right at the top. And then I'm going to do the same, just use card key here. And then I'll do the same for card ID. That's the closing quote. And definitely want to do it for draw and keep. And let's do this keep as well. So this is draw, this is keep, and then do I have card source yet? No, so let's go ahead and do that for card source as well. And then card class. And then this is a keep. And everything else looks good. So it does the same thing, maybe a little bit easier to read because I don't have all those PHP islands in the code anymore. They're all at the top, and so it's easier to change those constants. Let's go ahead and make sure I haven't broken anything. Get rid of these view source panes. Let's go ahead and go back and view page source. Look at the JavaScript. So now I have these constants at the top. They're actually JavaScript variables. There's a const keyword in JavaScript, part of ES6, but it's only supported on some browsers right now, so I'm using var instead. But that all looks good. Everything looks good. So let's make sure it still works. We haven't broken anything. Pair of fours, one pair less than jacks, payoff 0. Oops, whoops. Oh, yep, I had broken something. Yeah, so one of these keeps here. So that's in toggle card. So this should actually be card back here. So I made a little mistake. So let's go ahead and that's why we test. And then change that to card back. So reload, keep the king, actually keep the pair of threes. Didn't help. Keep the queen jack. It seems to be working now though. So I'm going to call that one done. I suppose there's one other thing I can do, which is I can pass in a final parameter here. And that'll be optional as well. So I'm going to do this part regardless of whether I'm on the first page or on the draw page. But I don't have to do this part, and I don't have to do this part. So we'll only do that if not final. So if we are final, then I'll go ahead and listen for clicks on the submit button, and I'll also make the cards clickable. Otherwise I won't. Seem to be working okay anyhow, but it's probably cleaner this way. Draw. 3 jacks. So that still seems to be working. And if I click on this, nothing happens. Look at the console, make sure we have no errors. Cannot read property add event listener of null. Oh, I forgot to actually pass true in here. So true. So now I'm calling in it with true. And hopefully that error will go away. And it did, so no error. Continue. Okay. And nothing's happening, which is good. So I did clean one JavaScript console error, but everything else seems to be working the same.